All right, welcome back. On this video, I want to talk about obstacles. That's right, obstacles. You call them situations, you call them circumstances, problems, right? But they're really just obstacles because we all go through those in life. We all have things that we have to overcome. And when you decide to do something different, you get more and more of those, especially when we're talking about a time frame that's closing in. Like if you have a deadline, you have a tendency to kind of panic when you get to that deadline because you're thinking in your mind it's all or nothing, right? It's either I do it or I don't, I get it or I can't, or it is or it isn't. It's not like that, but it is like that. I know it's confusing, right? Shouldn't be confusing because if you keep it in front of you, right? Whatever, if you keep it where you can see it, it's you can control it to a certain point. But if it's right up on you, you have a problem with it, and you're probably going to take a hit, right? And how you react to that hit will determine whether or not you continue. One of the things that I like to share with people when we're talking about starting a business is, I'd say if I was going to give it a number, I would probably say 90%, and that's a high number, maybe even higher. I'd say 93% of the people who want to do something want to do it because of money. They want to do it because it makes money. And, money is good to have, it's great to have, but it's not good when you're focusing on that as a business because if that's where your interest is, as soon as you don't get the money, or as soon as you get the money and lose it, you'll lose interest in what you're doing also. And if the money never comes, you'll lose interest really quickly and go to something else. Because we live in a society where everything is really, really sped up. It goes at a lot faster click now, right? When you think about from the time you get up in the morning to the time you get ready to go to bed at night, how many different things you've actually done during that day, how many different things you started and didn't finish during that day, how many things you said you were going to do and didn't do during that day, right? We all go through that, but some of us go through it less because we have a specific way we handle our time. In other words, we don't just let people misuse our time. If we have like an hour or two of nothing to do, we do something, right? We don't just not do nothing because time is very important, very, very valuable too. If you don't take advantage of the time that you have, before you know it, you'll be an older person, like me. And as you get older, if you don't position yourself to take care of yourself as you're getting older, then it's going to be really difficult for you to get old gracefully, so to speak. Because the way things are nowadays, the elderly and the very young are not really, watched after like they should be. And if you're in a lower economic development area, you can 5x that or maybe 10x it. Because you got dangers you have to be aware of as well, right? Sometimes, hurting people hurt people. So, there's going to be a certain element that's going to be around that, a lot of times you have to make sure you keep out just so that you can make it through, right? But when I'm talking about obstacles, I want to talk about some obstacles that are in line with a business. Okay, when I share information, it's basically about business, or it's about personal development, or it's about a combination of both, or every now and then I'll throw something else in there. But those are my niches. And my niches are things that I love to talk about, I know something about, and I can talk for days about, which you should be on that same track. And you would be on that track if you're working toward an online success, right? That's what you're working toward, because as you decide what you're going to do, you have to set things up. You have to position things around you so that you can access them really quickly, right? Like when I record a video, I have to be able to set my system up so that I can make sure everything is, like it needs to be, and then I can create the videos, and then I'm out. I can do something else. Like today, as a matter of fact, I had a very, very busy day today, and just as an aside, I'm going to tell you a few things I had to do, but I had to go register some things as a business, with my business, and that took about 2 hours. Then I had to go get a new set of tires on my car. That took about 45 minutes, and it's cold outside. So I'm sitting in this location, it's cold, and I'm thinking, come on, come on, come on. But I got all that done. Then I had to come back and make these videos, and had to go to the cleaners, and then all this is in one day. Right? Then I had to go across town to have dinner with someone that I had committed to, and all that, and I still have the energy to do what I love and do what I know I'm going to be committed to, because this is something I'm committed to. I have to make these videos not because I necessarily want to or like to, but I'm committed to it. And when I commit to something, I view it differently, right? My mind says no longer on, well, I may do that, or I'm going to see. No, not me. I want to get it done because I want the result that comes from it. When I finish these 200 videos, there's going to be a result. There's going to be a reward for doing it, right? In my mind. What is that reward? I don't know. Maybe a contract, maybe a financial deal, maybe a online course. I don't know what it's going to be, but it will exist. It will show itself because I put in the work. And it'll probably show up way before I get to 200 videos, because when people know that you're doing something, then they have a tendency to want to become part of that, want to help you, want to make that a group thing, right? And you don't mind that because it speeds things up and keeps things more organized. And you just still have to monitor who you bring on your team, right? Like this week I was able to bring, and maybe you heard me say this, but a lady who's wanted to have her own podcast show. Now I have a podcast show, but I've committed to doing 200 videos in 365 days. So there's a lot of content that I have to create, a lot of information I have to gain, and a lot of structure I have to put up so that I can talk about it, right? But I have a podcast show too, so she gets to, I'm allowing her for 3 months, 90 days, which I do a podcast show per week, every Monday. I'm allowing her to come to do my podcast show, her podcast show under my umbrella, and the world gets to find out who she is and what she can share with the world. And it's given her so much joy that she wanted to bring her sister on so that her sister can talk with her. And I'm thinking, wow, I'm getting to bless 2 people at one time for just one thing that I needed to get done for myself, right? I needed to fill that slot with some information that could stay consistent, and poof, that they appeared. Now, I don't have to worry about that for 90 days as long as they stick to their contractual commitment, right? And they will, because, you have to kind of fill people with more than just the mind, the body, and the money, right? You got to kind of feel them. And if they feel, because I'm one of those people that I can tell if you're passionate about what you do. You should, listening to me, you should be able to tell that I'm passionate about what I do. And if you're passionate about anything, nobody has to tell you to write it down, to structure it, to remember things involved with it, because you're going to be sharing that with some people at one point or another, which is one of the things I do also therapeutically, is that I post quotes to certain places 5 days a week. Actually, sometimes 7, just depends on what I'm doing. I only post 5 quotes, so what that means I have to go through the quotes. I have to, read them for myself and see if that makes sense to me right now. Because, I'm not saying the quote is not good at all. I'm just saying right now, where I am, that's not good. And normally when I do that, I've just come back from the gym, right? So when I come back from the gym, I'm eating yogurt and I'm going through these quotes, and my mind is kind of up, zooted, right? And so I have to feel that right then. But while I'm at the gym, I'm thinking about what quotes I want to post. What title do I want to look under quotes like? Is it relationships? Is it success? Is it, let's say, love? Is it knowledge? Because the place that I use to get my quotes, there's an abundance of quotes. I mean, when I say that, I mean, like, I won't run out of quotes. And that's what I like. I like a lot of information, a lot of valuable information. And if I get a chance to share some of your quotes, it grows your system, right? People say, oh, that was such and such said that quote. I'm going to remember that. And as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to start following them. Because you can follow people on certain places, and that helps them, grow their system as well. Because all these systems are about growing your system. Now, I was talking on a previous video about likes, shares, and subscriptions and things like that. Now, you have people who have like an email list with 100 or 200 or 500,000 people on it. That's fantastic. And that's a bank, I'm telling you right now. But you also have people with 5,000, 1,000, 10,000, and they're still making a beautiful living with that list, and they're being consistent with what they do because they don't really want a big list. They want to maintain that list because you have to create a relationship with your list, and it's difficult to create a relationship with 100,000 people opposed to 5,000, right? But it's possible, but it won't be the same type of closeness or understanding. And you have really people, certain niches like the meditation niche or the any type of thought process niche or incense. You have a variety of topics that people are really tuned in to that, and they will spend money on that. They are committed to that, right? That is part of their life. That's part of their DNA. And if that becomes that for you, you would be one of those people. And you may be that person now. You may already go deeper than what I'm talking about in what I'm talking about, right? And that's cool. That's cool. I like that. That means you have something that you're doing. You have a direction that you're going. And if you have the mindset, you can share that information and be rewarded for it. The universe will reward you for that information. And I recommend you do, because we all have something, and what we don't have, we can learn. Skills are taught. You're not born with skills, you're taught skills. And then you sharpen those skills, right? And then, like I said, you don't have to be the best at it in this world. There's like 7 billion people on the planet. You can be mediocre at best and still become extremely happy in life. Financially, psychologically, you can still help people reach back and grow people, making $100,000 a year, just as much as you could if you were making $10 million a year or $50 million a year, right? It's all based on you putting in the effort, though. You got to put in the effort. And at the end of the day, when our time has expired and it's over for us, you want to be able to look back and say, wow, I had a life. I lived my life, right? That's what I want to say. I want to be able to look back and say, you know what? I did some things that I didn't have any idea I could do. I learned some things and I helped some people. I really did. I know I did. And I'm so thankful for that opportunity. And, that is, for me, is a place that I like to be from a retrospect place, to look back on and just kind of experience what that felt like, to be able to see true gratitude from someone that you helped. Because some people are truly grateful for what you do. Truly. They really can't express it enough. They want you to know that, listen, had it not been for you, mister, or had it not been for you, miss, I never would have made it. Right? And you may not ever get to hear that. But you can still be that for somebody. Right? Okay. I'm going to stop right there with this week's videos. This has been a blast for me. This will be video number 30 for my 200 video series. Now, is that a lot of videos? 30 videos, that's not a lot of videos, but 200 is. But those 30 went relatively quickly, I really have a lot of more information to give, and I really do want to get to more of the one-on-one understanding. I want you to look at me just like I'm talking to you. I'm talking directly to you, not to everybody on Facebook, not everybody on LinkedIn, not everybody on Twitter, not everybody wherever you're hearing me or seeing me. I want you to look at me as if I'm talking to you. I want you to start your business this year. I want you to do something different. I want you to come out of that box, come out of that comfort zone, and get serious. I'm doing 200 videos in 365 days. Start with me doing something. Write a blog, create a podcast, do a video, do 5 videos in a month, do 3 videos in a week. Start something and become consistent. Set up a process that you can do it regular enough so that it requires you to come out of that comfort zone. It requires you to gain some more knowledge to continue. And as you do that, if you would do that, it will take you to another place. Because before you can go to another place here, you have to go to another place here. You have to see yourself before you can see yourself there. You have to see yourself. Look within. Because that's where all the breaks are. That's where you stop yourself. When you look within, you start to make excuses. You start to find reasons why it doesn't make sense. You start to compare. You start to say things like, well, I don't really want to do that anyway. Or I don't see how that's going to benefit me. Yeah, I could do that. I could be better than him at that. But I don't want to do that. Knowing all the time that you shouldn't compare to nobody, because what's for you is for you, and what's for me is for me. And that's how it works. Don't forget to share these videos, like these videos, subscribe to these videos. And I'm going to see you guys on the next video next week. SpeakWithLarry.com.